Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AJ Chats. I shouldn't really call it that because my lives that I do with Matt, which will be coming back, are called AJ and Matt Chats. So it gives a bit of confusion over whether this is live or not. These are not live, these are pre-recorded. This is just that series where I sit down, I talk, and with stuff that's rolling around in my head. Food for thought. I should call it I should call it food for thought. That's what I'm going to call it now. Food for thought. AJ's food for thought. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Anyway, so today, we're going to talk about the Pamela Anderson effect, streaming versus cinema, and the counter-intuitive nature of both, in a sense. So let's do it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And yes, so I don't know where to begin with this one really. So recently I've been watching the Monsterverse, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the Godzilla esque TV show with Kurt Russell and that, and it's pretty damn good. It's quite enjoyable. And then it got me thinking, right, about Marvel on Disney, the TV side of it. DC having ventured into the TV side of it with like Peacemaker, or not so much DC, but certainly Marvel, and certainly this Godzilla show. Now, this Godzilla show, okay, it's somewhat light on monster action. You do get a little bit in every episode, but it's more character focus based, like that. However, when you do get the creatures on screen, they look fantastic. The budget is there, and it matches what you get on film in the cinema. The effects are that good. And then with Marvel on TV, okay, I know there's a bit of rushing stuff and She-Hulk didn't look too great, etc, etc, but for the most part the Marvel TV shows are the equivalent of what you get in the cinema. And this is what they went into when they were making these. They put that budget there on the screen. And Star Wars is another one. Star Wars is another one where the budget is in these shows and they look not far off what you get in the cinema. And I started thinking, is this a problem? Is this a Pamela Anderson effect? Pamela Anderson effect is a term that I've coined for myself, in a sense, and it harks back to the release of Barbed Wire, right? And I'll come on to that in a minute. So anyway, so these shows here, they offer you visually the equivalent of what you get in the cinema, pretty much on a weekly basis almost. Okay, I know that Marvel have calmed down a bit now and that sort of a thing, but they're still there. You can switch on Disney Plus, you can watch them as well as the films. And then recently I watched Miss Marvel 2, or The Marvels as it is called, and it wasn't particularly good at all. And I came away thinking, this feels nothing but a sort of Disney Plus special. It feels like a Disney Plus special. There's nothing to make me feel that it's any more cinematic than what we are getting out of the Disney Plus TV shows. So then my thought process went to, well, are you killing yourselves off in this sense? Are you irreversibly sort of harming your cinema universes? Reason being, it comes to this Pamela Anderson effect, as I mentioned. Now, as you know, back in the 80s, 90s, you had Baywatch was big on TV, very big show. Baywatch run for, 10 seasons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seasons of Baywatch, and Baywatch nights, right? Anyway, Pamela Anderson was a big part of Baywatch for a good few years, and people loved it. People loved Pamela Anderson, and they would tune into this program for Pamela Anderson. For Pamela Anderson, because, well, frankly, she's not wearing a lot, is she? She's wearing a red swimsuit. So they could get an eyeful, essentially. And then came the movie Barbed Wire. 1996, we got Barbed Wire. Now, Barbed Wire was sort of Pamela Anderson's first foray into cinema, you know, big cinematic release film starring her, and the film completely bombed. Completely bombed. Not least of all because, well, it's regarded as not being a particularly good film, but the Pamela Anderson effect. And what this is basically people were happy to watch Pamela Anderson on TV because they're watching Pamela Anderson for free. Okay, essentially. And when it came to Pamela Anderson in the cinema, people didn't want to go and pay money to see Pamela Anderson flaunting her bits about on screen. They didn't want to pay for it because they could essentially get it on TV. Okay, and this comes into the MonsterVerse TV show, Marvel and Star Wars, right? Star Wars we've yet to see, but obviously we are seeing a decline in the Marvel and the DC stuff. And like I said, you've only had Peacemaker, but we are getting the Penguin as well. The Penguin TV show set within, the Batman TV verse, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure that will look as good as what the film looked. Which means you can't see nothing because it's so damn dark. But no, I say in jest. So yeah. So my point is are we sort of conditioning people, general audiences, to not want to go cinema to see the big budget versions of this stuff because you can watch it? Okay, I know it's not free per se, but it's far cheaper to have a subscription service to something than constantly go cinema. So that's my point. Are we conditioning people into not seeing something at the cinema because it feels no different to what we can just switch on the TV and watch new content and feels like that? So Star Wars TV shows, very good looking, budget's there, not far different than the films in a sense. The same with the Marvel stuff, and now with Monarch Legacy of Monsters, similar with that. We're only halfway through that, so, or near to the end, just over halfway. I don't know where we're at. We're about halfway through, but that's beside the point. So are we having that impact? Are these shows having that impact on the psyche of people not going to see? Okay, I know there's other reasoning as well that people aren't going to see this stuff because, of fatigue, etc., etc. There are other factors that come into play. But is this one of them? Is this Pamela Anderson effect one of these things that are coming into play that are preventing people from stepping outside of their door to go and pay to see a TV show, a film on cinema, film at cinema, when you've got it on TV or equivalent to on TV? Because like I said, the Marvels just felt like a Disney Plus special to me when I watched it. There was nothing grandeur about it, nothing that made me feel that this is a step above what I've been seeing out of some Disney Plus shows, that sort of a thing. So yeah, that's the question that I pose today. It remains to be seen because yes, we know that there is decline coming, or we're in a decline with Marvel. Knowing that we've got MonsterVerse shows, and will they look at doing something else after Monarch? I don't know, but will that have an impact upon the MonsterVerse cinema movies? Will the Penguin show have an effect on the Batman? Will all the rest of the stuff? Will Star Wars, when Star Wars comes back into the cinema with this Ray series of films? Oh my God, don't! She's one of the worst actresses ever. Will that have these shows have a profound impact on that and how that's received? You know, I mean, at the moment, DC, you know, they haven't done too much, but they're gonna be. They're gonna be because, you know, we're coming into the James Gunn era of DC, a new sort of universe, that sort of a thing. We're getting the animated universes are ending, and we will have new animated DC content, but it will be set all within this James Gunn's DC universe. So all the TV shows that will come will be linked. So like the Marvel shows are linked to the films now, the DC stuff are going to be doing similar. So will that have a profound impact on people going to see the DC stuff? Because they don't want to pay to see something that they can watch similarly on screen for, well, I don't really want to say free, but free. These are the questions that roll around in my head at times. Yes, I know that, like I said, there's the fatigue side of it. I know that the cinema to streaming dates are of concern, because why would I go cinema to see something when, let's be honest, in 2 months, 2.5 months, I can see it on streaming. And 2.5 months isn't a long time at all, especially as the older you get. 2.5 months just fly by. So these are the questions that are pondered. So yeah, so that Pamela Anderson effect. Is there a Pamela Anderson effect occurring with Marvel? Will it occur with Star Wars? Will it occur with the Monsterverse? Will down the line it occur with DC? I don't know, but I'll be watching to see what happens. Anyway, just my food for thought for the day. AJ's food for thought. That's my new title when I do one of these, to save confusion. So, I'll see you on the next one. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you soon.